Hi, I'm Flo Allen, the Women's Team General Manager. I'm here today to answer some of your questions. Football Bench has asked, how do we manage playing time and how do we retain players? So Sean, our head coach, he will manage the players' game time and playing time. But what we have done is we've assembled a squad that's very versatile, that brings everyone in the squad brings a different skill set, both on and off the pitch. To get through a season with injuries, suspensions, other commitments, we have to have a versatile playing squad. So this year we assembled a squad that did that. Paul has asked, do we have a under-21s or reserve team, and what does our player pathway currently look like? So yes, we have a very well-established player pathway, which our foundation do a great job at running. We've notoriously always produced very talented players, many of whom have gone on to represent England and play in the WSL. Most famously, Lauren Hemp, who's a current Lioness. We're very lucky to have an emerging talent centre, which is one of only 70 in the country. We have a well-established player pathway, and part of our foundations is that we always want to bring through our own talented young players, and we want to be a team that's built upon a core of homegrown talent. This season, we've seen Eloise Moran, a 16-year-old who's graduated from our player pathway and come straight into the first team and grabs it with both hands and played many minutes this side of the second half of the season. So we currently have a 16 to 19-year-old college programme that our foundation run as well, which combines football and education with matches during the week and football training as well to supplement their education. We have a number of players in our women's first team who are also part of that, and we hope that as we continue to grow, that our football and education programme will grow with us, and we'll see more players progress from ETC under 16s through to our F&E programme into our women's first team, because again, we want to be a team that has a really strong core of homegrown players. Richard has asked, what are the ambitions in terms of promotion and growth, and are the aspirations realistic? So we're hoping to grow the women's team organically through putting in place a solid infrastructure and some solid fundamentals that can allow the team to progress both on and off the pitch. So this season we've done small changes in terms of doubling their on-pitch training load and introducing some other professional standards into the environment. Those have been the first steps to hopefully what we hope will be a long-term development of the team. And although we've made quite a few changes and positive steps this year, we want to keep building on that, and in the future, hopefully our team will be fighting for promotions and climbing up the women's football pyramid. Andrew has asked, what has been your biggest challenge, and in hindsight, what would you have done differently? So I think coming into this role, I certainly took, when I was a player, playing for granted. It was very easy to turn up, put your football boots on and run around the pitch. Having said that, it wasn't that easy. But I love my role, and I thoroughly enjoy putting in place some foundations and growing a team with so much potential. It truly means a lot to me. However, there are a few challenges. I think the biggest challenge so far to date has been keeping the Carrow Road game a secret. We did a really good job of keeping it a secret because we wanted to make sure that there was some visibility and some traction when we did announce it. And so far to date, we've seen amazing ticket sales, and we hope that will continue. And for me, I'm extremely passionate about providing opportunities for talented players to stay in the local area. I had to move away when I was young to go and pursue a dream elsewhere, and we want to make sure that players can fulfil their dream here at Norwich City. Robin has asked, what have been the challenges of integrating the women's team into the main club? And how do you think the interest in women's football will increase in light of the Women's World Cup this summer? I wouldn't say that there's been many challenges. Everyone at the football club has been totally on board with integrating the women's team into the main club. We have a brilliant team behind a team who are constantly embedding the women's team into their thoughts. We've seen this year some of the players attend signing sessions at the Fan Hub. We've seen many players appear in club-wide media campaigns, and we're also seeing our women's team play here at Carrow Road. So the Women's World Cup this summer, everyone is really excited about it. The Women's Euros last summer was a real success, obviously winning it and having our very own Lauren Hemp playing a key part in that. We've seen a bit of a buzz created off the back of that success last summer. Our attendances at the Nest have increased, and also the Lionesses have been incredible in terms of the visibility that they've given every single young girl in the country. They're now popping up on TV programmes, in commercial adverts, and the legacy that they left after the Euros, now that every schoolgirl gets access to regular football in their PE lessons, is amazing, and the power of a legacy. So we can only hope that they go to the Gold Coast and New Zealand this summer and emulate that success and bring home World Cup glory. Karen has asked about the investment and what that will mean for signing players. So this is a great opportunity to say thank you to all of our women's team founding partners. We have a number of founding partners who are truly committed to growing the women's team, and their enthusiasm is inspiring. Their investment is really valuable to ensuring that we can provide the correct infrastructure for our women's team to grow. In terms of signing players, every player that we've signed this season has added depth, improved the quality of the squad, but we'll always make sure that we sign a player with the right things in mind. So at the start of the season, it was about assembling a squad that could compete, and just before Christmas, when we signed 2 more players, it was about ensuring that we had enough depth and quality in our pursuit of FA Cup and League Cup progression. Diane has asked what were my career highlights and how did I get involved with Norwich City's women's team. So I had many highlights as a player. I was very lucky to represent my country at England youth levels, played in the under-17s right the way through to under-19s, and was lucky enough to captain my country as well. Also in the under-17s, when I was playing for those, we achieved a bronze medal in the European Championships and subsequently qualified for a World Cup, which was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Throughout my senior career, I was very lucky to spend a significant amount of time at Bristol City as a professional footballer. I have many highlights. I think some of the standouts for me were playing against some unbelievable players in the Super League and travelling to some unbelievable stadiums. Those memories and those experiences will always stay with me, and I'll always be lucky for the opportunities I had to play as a professional. Alongside my footballing commitments, I was also very dedicated and passionate about ensuring I had an alternative focus away from the football pitch. I enjoyed studying, and particularly sports business, so I undertook a undergraduate degree alongside my footballing commitments, which complemented the schedule quite well, and it also meant when I suffered a long-term injury, I had a focus and I had some drive to focus all my energy on, yes, my rehab for football, but also I knew I had an alternative focus with my education. You never know when it's going to happen. For me, it happened at 23. For others, it might happen sooner. For others, it might happen later. But I was always quite driven and made sure that I had another option in case I needed it. With Norwich being my home, I've always kept close contacts with many people here at the club. I've always been an avid Norwich City supporter. It's where I grew up, and I've always had a very keen eye on developments here. And when the opportunity came around, I jumped at the opportunity because it means so much to me to make sure that there are opportunities for players to fulfil their footballing dreams and aspirations in their home county, their home city, and with the club that they love, which when I was playing I couldn't do. So I'm hopefully trying to ensure that players can fulfil their dreams here with the support of everyone at the football club. Chris has asked, how challenging has the organisation of the Carrow Road fixture been for both myself and for members of the club? So we're very thrilled to be hosting our women's team here at Carrow Road in April. We've been planning this for many, many months, and we're very excited that we've now launched, and we've got a few thousand people here already, and we're hoping that sales keep increasing. Everyone at the club has been tirelessly working behind the scenes to ensure that we've marketed the event correctly. We've got a brilliant commercial team behind us. Across the whole club, everyone has been exceptional, and we have such a strong team behind our women's team, and you know, for me it's a pleasure to work with such dedicated people day in, day out, and we're so lucky at this football club that everyone puts heart and soul in to making an event happen. Emily has asked, how have the increase in attendances had an impact on the squad at the Nest this season? The players have been really vocal about how the support has helped them. I think this season we've seen some brilliant performances at home, and the players are always spurred on by the positive energy that the fans produce. We're hoping that attendances will continue to grow and that we keep welcoming new fans and also current fans to the Nest for every home game. Boydie has asked, who was the best manager I played under? I played under some very good managers, both with England youth age groups and also when I was at Bristol City. So it's very difficult to choose because I learnt lots from each and every single one of my managers. I think the one that sticks out the most for me is Willie Kirk, who currently manages Leicester City Women in the Women's Super League. Willie handed me my first professional contract when I was at Bristol City, and I have some really fond memories of those early days at Bristol City when I was just coming through as a youngster. We had an unbelievable squad, and we had some players who were then just starting out their career, who are now flying high in the Super League and representing their country. And so what we achieved at Bristol in those few years when Willie was in charge was unbelievable, and that feeling has stuck with me for a long time. Ashley has asked, what does Norwich mean to me? I've always had a massive interest in Norwich City, and I've always been a massive fan. So for me, Norwich, it means everything. Norwich is football to me. So I feel like I'm the luckiest person in the world to say that I work for a club that I've supported and always loved. In the same time, Norwich also means to me ensuring that we provide some foundations and infrastructure for girls and women's players to ensure that they can fulfil their footballing dream at Norwich City. Because I didn't have the opportunity to do that when I was playing, and we want to ensure that every girl and every woman who is in our local area has the opportunity to do that. But again, that takes time, that takes organic growth, and we hope that we'll be there one day. Toby and Liam have asked, where do we see the women's team in 5 to 10 years' time? And is the ultimate aim to reach the Women's Super League? Everyone at the football club wants to see our women's team progress. We currently sit in Tier 4 of the Women's Football Pyramid, so we've got a lot of work to do to reach the Women's Super League. So look, it's not out of our ambitions, but in the next sort of 5 years, short to sort of medium term, we want to make small steps, and we want to make sure that we've put in the right infrastructure. It's about growing slowly, but growing at the right pace and growing organically, so that hopefully we can progress through divisions, through the tiers, and sustain that progress and that growth, because ultimately we do want to be competing against the best teams, the best players in this country. Thank you for your questions. Hopefully that gives you an insight into my role here at Norwich City Football Club. We hope to see you down at the Nest and at Carrow Road for our showpiece fixture in April.